Are you almost 65? How did that happen, right? I'm right there with you, though. It happened to me this year, and I'm now 65 and a half, thereabouts. Strange as it is, I consider it to be a privilege to have reached this age because, when we were kids, in our 20s, whatever, we thought 65. Oh my gosh, that is so old. And, to us it was. But I don't feel that old, and it is just a number, so I'm trying to just deal with it, and it's okay. But what I'd like to tell you about is how I determined how much or what Medicare insurance I needed, because that's the age, 65, when we all have to, or most of us have to sign up for Medicare. I'm do-it-myself Peg, and I am a control type person. I like to know what's going on, to be in control of a situation, because I don't like surprises. I just like to be prepared. And so to get ready for signing up for Medicare, I did research for almost a whole year. Back when I was 64, that's when I started. And I kind of probably took it to the extreme. So I thought, I might as well share some of my experience that I went through to get to the right decision for me. It might help somebody. I hope it helps you at least know the basics. I'm not an expert. I'm not an insurance agent. I don't work for Medicare. I don't work for Social Security. I am a 65-year-old, almost like yourself, if you're going to be turning 65 soon. And so I am a Medicare user. I have it. It's great. So let's get started on the parts of Medicare. I'm going to read my notes because, I'm 65. I don't have a great memory anymore, so notes are wonderful. There's Part A, which is the hospital coverage. And then there's Part B, which is medical insurance. Part C is an Advantage plan. And you can either have an Advantage plan, nothing, or a Medigap or supplement insurance plan. And lastly, there is Part D, and that is the drug plan. So, a little bit about Part A, the hospital plan. It's a $0 premium for most people. There's a deductible of $1,632 each time you're admitted to the hospital per benefit period. I don't know exactly what that means. There are other amounts, like from hospital day 0 to, I think it's 60. There's a certain amount you pay or nothing. I'm not sure. It's on the Medicare.gov website. And then from day 61 to something else, there's another amount. And you can find that, I'll give you all the links at the end of this video. So that's Part A. It covers hospital, anytime you go to the hospital. Part B, in 2024, when I'm making this video, the premium for that is $174.70. That's what I pay, unless you make, to me, a lot more money. I've never made as much as their guidelines show for the next tier of payment. Most people will pay $174.70. On the Medicare.gov website, there is a chart that shows the premiums according to income. And the income, for instance, for 2024 is based on your 2022 income tax return. So in 2025, the premiums would be based on your income for 2023. You just subtract 2 years, basically, and that's how you get that number. I wanted to mention, if you don't sign up for Medicare when you turn 65, you can be charged 10% more in premiums per year, because they want you to sign up when you're supposed to. I wrote this down from the website. You may qualify for special enrollment period. I'm not sure what that means. And Part B, the medical insurance portion, has a deductible of $240 a year, just once a year, in 2024. That may go up in 2025. We don't know yet. They come out with a number. I think it's related possibly to inflation. I don't know. And the Part D drug plan, the costs of the premiums for this portion of Medicare vary by plan. There's a penalty, though. This is very important. There's a penalty if you don't join your Medicare drug plan Part D when you first get Medicare. I think you have 63 days from when you first begin Medicare and you don't have credible coverage. They can penalize you 1% a month or 12% a year, and that is an amount that's added to your monthly drug plan premium forever. So if you do nothing else, sign up for Medicare in your birthday month when you turn 65, because it starts the first day of your birthday month. I mean, if your birthday is July 30th, it starts July 1st. So sign up ahead of time and get a drug plan, a Part D drug plan, if you do nothing else. So what I wanted to really share with you, that's kind of the technical stuff of what Medicare covers, what it generally costs. But what I wanted to share was how I determined for me what to get. And here's what I did. Here is my method. You can do some or none of these, all of them, a few. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. I talked to friends and family because, a lot of people have Medicare. There are a few people that were teachers or who were in the military, and they have like TRICO or a teacher pension that includes health insurance, so they aren't on Medicare necessarily, or they might be on Medicare, I believe the Part A part. Some people just sign up for that, but not the other stuff. Don't quote me. I've just heard this from people. I don't know for sure what the actual case is. So I talked to friends and family, and I got lots of good advice and experiences and examples of what different things they use. I watched YouTube videos. They were very helpful. There are a couple YouTube videos about Medicare. There are probably a million. So, in fact, if you're watching this and get all the way to the end, your next video that's suggested or that is showing on the side of your screen might just be Medicare videos. I'd almost put money on it. So in addition to talking to friends and family, watching YouTube videos, I also attend Zoom webinars that were sponsored by my credit union. I don't live in the same state where my credit union is anymore, but I have access to all the benefits. And I would just sit there and watch. They did at least 2 a year on both Social Security and Medicare. And I watched them all when I was 64 just to get as much information in my noggin as I could. And they were very helpful. They covered just about everything, not in depth, but the basics. And that was wonderful. So you could check out maybe just, Google Zoom webinar for Medicare, and you might come up with something in your area that you could actually go to in person even, or do a Zoom one, or just watch the YouTube videos. And lastly, I talk to insurance agents because you have to sign up. You have to sign up for Medicare, and if you want to buy or get an Advantage plan, which is zero cost up front, there's no premiums, but there's a lot more expenses. I have to grab my coffee. I need another swig. So I talked to insurance agents and I got quotes for my zip code because you know how the commercials are. Call this number and give them your zip code, because that is what they base it on. If they take all the old people, all the 65-year-old old people or 65-year-old young people in your zip code, and they have a rate. Each insurance plan for Medicare has a rate. It's either age-based or community-rated, and I had that information in my head, but it's kind of seeped out. I'm making room for new stuff. So I took notes. I had scraps of paper. I would recommend getting a little notebook and just keeping all your notes in one place. It would make it a lot easier. And just jot down things that are important to you, like maybe be sure to sign up before I turn 65 and get a drug plan. Those are the two big ones, I think. Then I looked at my notes. I would study my notes. I would Google some more. I would watch more YouTube videos. And then I mulled over, and I thought about it, and I pondered my situation. Finally, I just wrote in my little journal that I write down all my stuff that I'm doing. It's kind of like a diary of what I do each day. About 6 weeks before my birthday month, I wrote down, talk to an insurance agent and get Medicare, sign up for Medicare. So I made an appointment to do that with myself because I knew I would feel better once it was done. So you really need to set up your coverage that begins the first day of your birthday month. So don't wait till, the second or third week of your birthday month and do it. Just do it ahead of time, get it done. That's the best thing to do. So what did I choose? Well, I took Original Medicare, which is Parts A and Parts B. And for Part B, I am paying the $174.70 a month because of my income. That's what I pay. There's not really any negotiation on that part. I kept the Original Medicare and got a Medigap or supplement plan, and I went with a Plan N. There's a Plan G and a Plan N. Two choices, because there used to be a Plan F, but you had to be born, I think it's 1954 or earlier, and we don't meet that criteria. And my cost for that, when I signed up, was $85 a month. So I also have a Part D drug plan that is 0 premium per month. It's great because I take 2 prescription drugs, but they're the tier 1, which is low-level, common stuff that isn't expensive. And they have generic versions out for it. And I pay 0 for those prescriptions as well, which is wonderful. If I took, a cancer drug or some other higher-priced drug that is still, the drug company's still paying off their research and all that, and they haven't made a generic of it, however that works, I'd be paying a portion of that drug each month or each 90-day period or whatever. So I also wanted to mention you can change your coverage in the 6-month window after turning 65. So your birthday month plus 5 more months, you can, if you want to, if you sign up for an Advantage plan and you decide, I don't know if I like this, you can call an insurance agent and sign up for a supplement plan within the first 6 months. And then if you decide in the 7th month, you might have to go under underwriting, which is the insurance company would make you have a physical, ask you health questions, find out what drugs you take, all the questions just to find out your status, your health status. So during this 6-month window when you can make changes, I got a notice in the mail from my insurance company for my Medigap supplement plan in coverage that in 2025, that coverage that I was currently paying $85 a month for was going to go up $12 a month. That's $144 a year. I thought, no, I don't want that to happen. So I called my insurance agent and they said, yes, this does happen sometimes. That's a somewhat significant, hike in premiums. And I asked if they could check for me if there was another insurance company that would offer a better rate, because my insurance agent is a broker. They just shop all of the insurance companies and get the best deals and coverage that you need. So they did, and we found another company, very well known. You've heard of it. You may have heard of the first one too, but the other one is even more well known, I think. And if I paid up front for a whole year, starting the next month, because I was going to cancel my original plan in policy and go with another company, another insurance company, I could get that coverage for $82 a month, less than what I was paying to start with of $85 a month. So I did that. I figured, yeah, it's the same thing. If a doctor or hospital takes Medicare, they will take a supplement plan, G or N, either one. They have to. It's the law. So I also wanted to tell you what happens when you actually turn 65 and you've already signed up and everything. I think my Medicare cards didn't come in the mail until in the month, but I got my Medicare number plus my plan in number, and I wrote them down and kept them in my wallet. And then when my cards came, I put those in my wallet. So you get a Medicare card for Parts A and B. That's a separate Medicare card. It's red, white, and blue. I think they show it on the commercials. And then for Part C, if you have an Advantage plan, you would get a card for that, I assume. I got a card for my Medigap plan in through that insurance company. And then you get a Part D drug plan card. So you have 3 cards. I do anyway. And they all came within a couple months or couple weeks of in my birthday month, so I was not without a card for very long at all. And I believe that's everything, but I am going to include the website for Medicare, and I happen to call Social Security because to make your Part B payments, I'll give you the website for Medicare and Social Security here at the end. And just to let you know, I wasn't collecting Social Security, but when I found out, because I called the Social Security Administration, and the man I talked to was so helpful. He answered a lot of my questions and said that Medicare is usually deducted from Social Security payments. But I said, I'm not on Social Security. How would I pay for it? And he said it can come out of your checking account. It's not a big deal. They get that, you get that set up and it's fine. That's how it happens. But I thought, I don't really want to pay the $174.70 myself. So I think I'll just start collecting Social Security. So I did. And he helped me sign up for it. You can do it online yourself, but he was so nice and he acted like he wanted to do it. Like maybe he was having a slow day. I doubt it. But he was very helpful. He answered all my questions, told me exactly the date my Social Security would go into my checking account each month. And it was simple. It was really simple. If you just get over the fear of doing all this and take a deep breath, do a little research. You probably don't need to go into as much depth as I did, but that's kind of how I am. I'm a dog with bone. I'm a dog with a bone. And I enjoy the research and knowing the ins and outs and all the little picky things. But if you are not like that, you don't have to be. You don't have to know everything. Just know the basics. Call an insurance agent that you trust. Mine isn't. I found her on YouTube. She's great. I liked her videos. I watched the short ones and the long ones. The short ones sometimes were just a tip about something, and then it's like, oh, I didn't know about that. And then I could Google, I could search YouTube for that topic and watch a long video about that to inform myself even more and take notes about it and fret and, study it. And so whatever works for you will be just fine, but do it ahead of time. Just take a load off your brain, get it done, and I would say do it at least in the month before you turn 65, and just enjoy being 65. You did it. You're almost there. So if you liked this video and got anything out of it, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be super duper. And if you haven't, you could subscribe too and help me out. I'm trying to get into the YouTube partner program where they, share their ad revenue with me. And I hope I see you again soon in my next video. Thanks for watching.